Feels like the same movie, the same saying, really for 7 years, but it's sticking out right now. The Chicago Cubs are being outclassed by the Milwaukee Brewers.
You are Locked On Cubs, your daily Chicago Cubs podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
You are Locked On Cubs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day, alongside Sam Olber. I'm Matt Cozy. Sam and I are lifelong fans, taking our passion into a discussion with you on all things Cubs. Today's episode is brought to you by Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Cubs lost 7-3 to the Brewers in Game 2 of the NLDS on Monday. Brewers up 2-0 in the series as it moves to Wrigley later this week. Shota Imanaga started, another move that was questioned in the moment, just like when Matthew Boyd opened up the series Saturday, and it went poorly. Imanaga did not get out of the third inning, allowing a 3-run homer to Andrew Vaughn in the first and a solo shot to William Contreras in the third. Seiya Suzuki hit a 3-run homer in the top of the first, and that was it for the offense. All 7 runs for the Brewers were with 2 outs. Sam, the Cubs are in a big hole with their season on the brink.
I don't know. It's very hard for me, as you know, to not go to where I want to go, which is talking about this is why I spent so much time during the season letting these guys bother me. Whether that's the right thing to do, that's up for debate. But
right, because that's your choice.
Yeah, they are so organizationally sound. And when I watch them play, it just feels like a different sport. My dad talked about that. Like, it just what they do and what we do, it just looks like we're hoping to hit a home run. And yes, they ran into a few home runs today, but when they don't run into home runs, they get base hits and they they push the right buttons. And I just think that the Cubs have to figure these guys out before they can get to where they want to go. And that's why this was such a big series. And look, you're right. They still have some time left here. But it just to lose Game 1 in the fashion they did was frustrating. I thought at the very least they'd come out in Game 2 and compete. This game, Matt, I got to tell you, it never felt close. The second Vaughn tied the game. It never, even when it was 3-3, 4-3, it never felt close. They didn't show any fight again offensively. I know we're going to talk about the Shota move, and we have to, but I must bring up this is now 12 consecutive postseason games of 3 runs or less for the Chicago Cubs. And they scored 3 in the first inning today. And then when 8 straight innings, they had, what did they have for the game? 4 total hits. It just seems like a lot of guys, a lot of pieces, and that team over there, they just feel like a team with an identity, with a mutual goal. And we just, well, maybe PCA will get into one, and hey, maybe Hap will get in. It's just, right now, it just feels like they're being completely outclassed, Matt, at every level of the game.
Well, they seem overmatched to me.
Yep.
And the biggest part of this that if we want to wait on it, fine. But the Brewers, to me, Sam, have had an identity for years.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Cubs got the main person, presumably in the dugout.
Uh-huh.
And none of it transferred over.
None of it. Not even 1%.
Everything was kept, and then some over there.
They're better without them.
Okay. I don't understand going to Imanaga in Milwaukee.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Just wait.
Yeah.
We said it on Saturday night. Just wait. Just wait until Wednesday at Wrigley. It's going to have cool temps. It's going to have wind blowing in, a crosswind, I'm sure.
Pitch Colin Ray. Have Colin Ray start. Hey,
have Jamison Tyone start, albeit on short rest, but not Imanaga. And by the way, if it is Imanaga, then have him face 9 batters. And they didn't do either of those plans.
Nothing. They
didn't do either plan.
And I thought this is why we got Counsell, for the creative pitching and the piecing it together. Yes, I know they're short Steele. I know they're short Horton, but I thought there'd be some more creativity. You're right. The bigger story wasn't the 3-run homer to Vaughn. Why was he still out there to face Churio?
Ray should have been facing Churio.
I mean, it was unbelievable. And I gotta say, Counsell is not why they lost these 2 games, but it's just not a great look, especially against his former team. Now, granted, Murphy didn't exactly crack the code with Ashby opening. He was not sharp, but it just, I just don't get it. It just seemed like common sense. I thought Ray game 1, Boyd game 2, Shota game 3, JMO game 4. That was the common sense. I thought Ray earned himself a position. Now, that doesn't mean they would have won the game, but
right.
And then we talked about it. Well, if you're going to go Shota, then go Shota one time through, Ray one time through, and they bring in Ray when they're down 100. And it's just, and then that's a huge part of the baseball game, Matt. It is. But for me, the way this offense just goes to sleep like they did, I just,
it's the same outline as the Saturday episode.
And I give a lot of credit to Seiya. I mean, he's just, these home runs that he's hitting are absolutely huge, and it's unfortunate that they don't matter. I mean, that
might be in his last game or 2 as a Cub as well.
That home run that he hit, I mean, when Bush let off that homer, I looked at my mom, I said, don't get too excited. But tonight, when Seiya hit that 3-run homer, I was buzzing. Yeah. I was buzzing, and I was in a really good place. And for Imanaga to come out
and it lasted 15 minutes again,
a 3-run homer like that, it just killed all the momentum. And it's just, it's hard. It's hard. This is the team. It's hard for me as somebody that watches every game. This is the team that started the quote, the offense is broken in 2018 when they came into Wrigley Field, game 163, and beat this Cubs team. And here we are 7 years later. 7 years is a long time. And they are still on top of this division and with a different manager, and they're 1 game away, Matt, from sweeping. And I want to close this segment before we go to break and the 722 amazing people that are with us to ask you a question. Would it be worse for the Cubs if they get swept by the Brewers rather than just losing to the Padres? I'll answer. I think the answer is no. I'll take playoff series wins are special.
I think you got to win 1 game.
Yeah, but
now you got to salvage something in front of the home fans.
But if they get swept at home,
I would say, yeah. I would say, what was the original question?
Would you rather have just lost to the Padres than get swept by the Brewers? Is essentially the question.
Well, my instinct is no, but man, I don't want the season to end Wednesday, and if it does, that's a cold way to go out.
Yeah, I think losing to this team in 5 games is no shame, because I really think this team's good, and I think they're going to give the Dodgers a series. I really do, if they're healthy, if they can get healthy with their pitching. But you can't get swept. And if you get swept,
I don't think so.
And this team, they're going to have their chests out. There's going to be a lot of Brewer fans in Wrigley. They're tired of hearing the Wrigley North stuff. They want to make it Wrigley South. It's going to be, I'm not looking forward to Wednesday night. I'm not.
All right. I want to get into your question about Counsell's role in all this.
Oh.
And
anybody want to get a base hit?
Well, I will continue to talk about the offense as we feel distraught here after a Game 2 NLDS loss right after this.
This episode is brought to you by Monarch Money. Most people can't name all their financial accounts or even what they're worth, whether it's 401ks, properties, or investments. And when you don't have the full picture, you can end up leaving money on the table. That's why there is Monarch Money. It's an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean, easy-to-use interface on your laptop or your phone. Monarch is built for people with busy lives. If you put off organizing your finances, Monarch is for you. Monarch does the heavy lifting for you. You can link all your accounts in minutes, see clear data visuals, get smart categorization of your spending, and finally feel in control of your money without ever touching a spreadsheet. You can identify that you aren't saving as much as you thought, like I identified, because all I do is spend money on food delivery services instead of driving the 7 minutes to go get the food. That stuff starts to add up. Maximizing investments, increasing your savings rate, easily reviewing finances with your partner and or advisor, keeping a clear review of your financial health week to week. So don't let financial opportunities slip through the cracks. Use code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with code LOCKEDONMLB.
Shout out to the everydayers. You can become a Locked On Cubs everydayer by joining us for every episode throughout the week. I'm a little tired of the Steele Horton storyline. Sorry.
Yeah, I think that's
I get it. It's difficult to navigate without them. It's not news to me that it's hard to win without impact players who are out due to injuries. But what are the Yankees talking about without Garrett Cole? And the Phillies without Zach Wheeler. Granted, those two teams are down 2-0. Mariners without Brian Wu. Blue Jays without Bo Bichette. But it's on the players to step up the best way they can.
Brewers without Brandon Woodruff.
Thank you. And it's on the manager. What is Craig Counsell's role in this debacle? Because if they get swept, that's what it is. It's nothing short of a debacle if they get swept. Last week was a blast. 92 wins was fun. But if they get swept, what is his role in this debacle? Because maybe there are too many cooks in the kitchen, and Jed Hoyer and Carter Hawkins in the front office and Counsell are making these decisions. Either way, as we spoke earlier, they're bad decisions. And while, yes, this literally wasn't a must-win game, there will be baseball at Wrigley Wednesday. You only walk away from this one feeling distraught, feeling badly about this team, because it's the same movie. It's the same movie, and so they get it wrong. If the evaluation is they got it wrong Saturday, why in their war room would they have made a decision that was wrong again today? How does that happen twice? And whose responsibility is that? Yeah, Shota gave up the 3-run homer to Vaughn 15 minutes after having the lead. But right now, you can't sit here and tell me, as one of the best fan bases on the globe, that you're not wondering what Counsell's role is in this. Because what's the plan? Okay, so he did pitch, and then he just kept pitching.
Yeah, I think you could take it a step farther and say, what was the plan post-trade deadline? They had
sure.
Remember this: they had no idea that Cade Horton was going to do this. That was unbelievable. That was outperforming expectation at the highest level. But you knew you didn't have Steele. You knew you were riding Matthew Boyd to a level that always felt unsustainable. And look, we talked about it all year. Shota didn't look like the guy he was last year, despite what the numbers were. So you're just going to roll out, try and win a world championship at that point. Now, it worked out that Cade turned out to be great. But I guess to answer your question, I think Craig's role in this is right there with Jed and Carter's. It just doesn't feel like this year they looked at it and said, hey, let's do it. Even though before the year they went out and got Kyle Tucker. And it feels like, and again, I think we're getting towards too much offseason-y, but like, it just feels like there's always one foot in the water and one foot out with this team. Hey, we're going to go trade for Kyle Tucker so we can make sure we're competitive. But, no Max Fried. No. Luzardo, we're worried about that. No. We're not going to go all in at the deadline. You know what I mean? It's just this kind of, let's have our hand in there. Let's be good enough. And hey, they won a playoff series. But if this finishes out the way it's looking, maybe it's a wake-up call to Jed, Carter, and Craig of, hey, you can't just be in the dance. There's a big organizational gap. And by the way, Matt, I mean, let's call a spade here. Even if they were able to make this interesting. I mean, you watch the Dodgers play. I mean, come on. Like in a 7-game series with Snell, Ohtani, Glasnow, Yamamoto, Freeman, Ohtani on offense, Sasaki closing, Betts. I mean, you can't. I mean, Hernandez. I mean, what are we? You know what I mean? There's
they definitely. Yeah,
so you either got to start spending more money, or you got to get sharper with your philosophies so you can close the gap on this Brewer team that seems to have your number. Because right now, through 2 games and the Shota Imanaga debacle, the Matthew Boyd debacle, the 0-2 pitch by Palencia right down the middle to Churio debacle, the offensive debacle, this Brewers team is making you look unserious. And so you need to throw away the binder for a second because you're not even using it anymore. And you need to get...
Which is weird, by the way.
You need to get serious on Wednesday night and show a little bit of pride because... to get swept by this team would continue to be a debacle.
Well, I'm going to have to reflect on the original question about a minute ago because my instinct is to say it is enough to get in the dance, but the way it's going in this dance is just poor.
Really, is it enough to get in the dance when the Dodgers?
It's a 162-game season. Making the playoffs, that should be a regular routine. That is the goal now.
No, absolutely, that's the goal. But then that shouldn't be, hey, we did, all right, let's celebrate. The goal is to eventually win a championship.
Eventually, sure.
And right now, does this look like a roster that could do that?
As of this moment, based on how Saturday and today went, no.
I'll argue based on how the Padres series went. I mean, they had to wriggly their way to win. They couldn't have starters do that. You need to figure out a way. Listen, I'm not saying, oh my gosh, the Cubs are horrible. This has been a good step. But if you lose Wednesday night, we're not sitting here waving pom-poms saying it was a great season. You got work to do to get to the next level. The goal isn't to make the playoffs every year. That's goal number 1. The ultimate goal is to put out a championship level roster.
Yeah, but that takes just so much time.
Well,
they just made the playoffs for the first time.
I understand. And so the next step, so that we could talk all offseason, well, how to become a championship. And they're not going to be doing it with Kyle Tucker.
Oh, that's a tease.
Tease that for the third offseason episode in mid-October. Maybe I'll premiere that on Halloween. Trick or treat, Kyle Tucker. Phillies, Dodgers, or Yanks?
Or Red Sox. So the Brewers didn't pitch a starter in this game, and they won the game handily. They had a bold plan that worked with Ashby opening.
Well, did it really work?
Well, yes, because they allowed 3 runs.
Yeah, I'm just saying the Cubs were not fooled by Ashby by any means.
Well, they weren't, but then they went to Mears to clean up some dirty.
And then they were fooled by everybody else.
And then Mizorowski was pumping 104. And now they have either Priester or Quintana or both for game 3.
Yeah.
And Freddie Peralta for the knockout punch. So, yes, it worked.
I'm thinking up a speech for tomorrow to try and rally the troops, like a little Kevin Millar down 3-0 to the Yanks speech. And
Well, Justin Turner should be doing that.
And I'm having a hard time finding it. Just win game 3.
All right, coming up next, we continue to discuss not only this loss, but Saturday's loss as well. And maybe a little more offensive numbers as well, which has been offensive to us as fans. Let's get to all of that right after this. Come on.
This episode is brought to you by Gametime. There's nothing like catching a baseball game live. The energy, the crowd, the chance to see your team in person. But actually getting tickets, that's the tough part. Queues, login screens, surprise fees, it takes all the fun out of it. That's why I use Gametime, the app that gives the advantage back to fans. Gametime is fast, easy, and backed by the Gametime guarantee. You always get 100% authentic tickets delivered on time and at the best price. Plus, all fees are included, so the price you see is the price you pay. I've used Gametime for every Cub game that I've been to. It's the best. You get tickets right away. You could literally wait up to first pitch. The prices go down. Fees are included. Know your total up front with no surprise fees at checkout. So download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, that's promo code LOCKEDOMLB for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go. Download Gametime today.
Make sure you're subscribed to Locked On Cubs on your preferred audio platform or YouTube. That way you don't miss any of the great Cubs content we've got for you. All right, well, that's true. We do have another episode before post-game coverage on Wednesday, so we'll certainly preview game 3 more for that, so make sure you check us out.
Quinn Priester been announced by Murphy.
Okay, Tuesday evening or Wednesday morning. And Quinn Priester, 2019 Cary Grove grad. We'll get more into that matchup, I think, in our next episode. Sam, at the plate, the Cubs now in the postseason are hitting 216 with an on base of 271. They've scored 12 runs.
Yeah.
They've struck out. They've walked 10 times and struck out 58. And so, let's see. What is that as a, 27 times 5 and 58 divided by 135. So 43% of their outs are strikeouts.
Yeah, it's hard to win.
And I'm not a math major, but that's horrific. Almost as much as my neighbor's Halloween decorations. So,
well, hopefully they're not listeners.
Yeah, I'm distraught right now.
So what are you feeling? Seriously, like
I'm distraught.
Yeah, I'm.
Do you know what that word means? Or
yeah, I do. I went to college. I'm not distraught. That's not the word I would use.
I was sad during the game.
As a fruit fly creeps in.
Well, clean your place better.
Yeah, I know it's from my dishwasher. Something's up. I'm just disappointed. I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed, and I just feel like Counsell really hurt us with these 2 decisions. And the lack of starting pitching, which we were worried about for a while, is on display. And the lack of offense, which we've worried about for a while, is on display. And I just
well, they proved to be too one-dimensional offensively.
Yeah, I just
it wasn't like that the whole year, but it was the last 60-ish games.
Yeah, and it's just, the first game I was okay with the blowout, but to have a 3, Matt, I got to tell you, when everyone compared the Bush solo homer, was like, hey, that was kind of like the Devin Hester Super Bowl return. No. The Seiya homer that got me back and forth at my place. I really thought we were in a good spot. And then you retire the first 2 guys of the next inning via strikeout. And then you leave the inning 3-3. It was just so deflating. And
the pitch to Contreras wasn't bad. for the single.
No.
Pitch to Yelich was right over the plate, and then the battle with Vaughn, you lost.
Yeah, and in the pregame, somebody asked me who scares you the most against Imanaga. I picked Vaughn.
He mashes lefties.
He mashes lefties, man, and it wasn't a horrible pitch, but it's just I've been here before in sports, unfortunately, many times, which is why I'm sitting here and not doing any other sports. When you're just outclassed and it just feels like the other person or the other team is just this much better than you, it's deflating. You put a lot of work in. I mean, think of the work that everybody puts in between Jed, Carter, Council, these players. You don't think these players go, man, PCA, and Tucker, and Seiya, and Bush who didn't even start, we should be able to hang in there. Now, listen, they did win the season series against them, but I would argue the first 2 out of 3, that wasn't the real Brewer team. But the 3 out of 5 that they got, that was legit.
I thought they could win this series and make the Final Four, which was the goal of this group.
Yeah, and I don't think you were out of line for thinking that. I thought similar. I was hearing what you were saying about, hey, they put the ball in play. Well, we're good at defense, and hey, they don't hit a lot of home runs, and that's our bugaboo pitching wise. But it just feels like they do whatever they need to do that night, and
they know what to do.
And it feels like what we do is just kind of hope it goes well, and put it out there. So we'll see. I'm really interested, and we'll talk more about this tomorrow, as it's almost midnight Central. We'll talk more about this tomorrow. I'm really interested to see the crowd and the vibe, because, it's going to be a tough – that's a tough game to go to. Like, that's one where, it's game 3. You win, and you still got, a huge mountain to climb. And you probably – that's a great question, by the way. If the Cubs do win game 3, would Murphy go Peralta game 4, or would he save him? Would he save him for Milwaukee?
No, he would not save him. No.
You're right, though. I think it's an important game to get, just for the pride purposes. Opening line on that game. Any guesses?
Yeah, I'll take a guess.
Yeah,
I'll say Brewers minus 130.
No, it actually opened at Cubs minus 145 and got bet down already to minus 125 by a lot of people.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So we'll see.
All right.
Yeah. Look. Here's what I'll say, because it's a tough night, man. Like, when you do this for 162, right? And when I say this, I don't mean what we do. I mean what everybody watching does, which is fan. And you watch every single game, and you want it so bad. And you have a high like you had of beating the Padres. That was literally on Thursday. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right. Only a few days ago.
You beat a really good team at home, and it was like, wow. And then you have a quick turnaround. Let me tell you, postseason baseball is really, really cruel. Sometimes it could be devastating. I mean, look at how the Yankees feel right now. Look at how the Phillies feel. I mean, they were in control all year, and they lost their first 2 at home.
And is that not reason to put more value in the 162? I'm just saying.
Yeah, to put more value in the 162, absolutely. But unfortunately, we're losing to a team that outclasses us over 162 as well. It'd be one thing if
it's two pronged.
Yeah, it's 2-pronged, and they just look so. I know this is a horrible take to close the show with, but they just look so into it and locked in. Like, they're just, their body language. It's like,
oh man,
it just doesn't look like they're a team that they just. I don't know.
But that's how. But we've been saying that though.
Yeah. I'll tell you this. If it goes south Wednesday night, I'm fascinated to see Dodgers Brewers. I know people in the chat are saying that the Brewers are going to get rolled. I don't know if they win that series, but I don't think I don't think that team's getting rolled by anybody. They're legit, man. I mean, they need to get healthy pitching wise, but they're legit. But we got to find a way to stand up and have some pride. Find a way to win a 3-1 baseball game on Wednesday, because we're not going to score much more than that.
Exactly. No, that sounds like the right score. We'll be back in the in-between to preview Game 3 and more. And then,
thank you for everybody for joining us after this. We appreciate
Wednesday night's game.
Almost 1,000 people after that debacle.
Wednesday is at 4:08, and then if necessary.
Wait, say that again?
Wednesday's at 4:08 Central, and then if necessary, Thursday can get a little weird.
Wednesday's a 4:08 game?
It is. This is Locked On Cubs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. For your second listen, check out the Locked On MLB Game Night show. Every game, every night, all season long.
Oh, man.
On a national scale. How do you not know that? Find MLB Game Night on the Locked On MLB channel on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts. He's Sam Olber. I'm Matt Cozy. This is Locked On Cubs.